Okay, so this is in response to me actually getting the opportunity to, not talk to somebody, just like getting somebody else's interest who isn't a member of my family to at least say in the direction. I was like, oh no, I will, watch your videos and pay attention to the things that you made, the thoughts that you have on a particular subject. And the reason I wanted to make this video, this recording, was that in those situations, I've always had a feeling that I would be not believing my own hype, but like overselling myself. It's like acting like I got something to say about the particular subject, that when I actually sit down to it and actually do it, it's more a feeling towards the situation than anything that's concrete, which is very much true. It is in how everything that I've talked about has affected me is the basis for why I feel the way that I feel towards it. So hence the recording. So I wanted to keep it down to, I wanted to title this one Ideological Wars, Keeping Company with Crazies, or Accustomed to Zealots. So I wanted to have it in the whole Rocky and Bullwinkle, or like old school cartoon dual title thing. It's like this or that is like where each title kind of leads into the overall theme, because I do think that that has colored my opinion of the groups and the causes that these people I've encountered have advocated for. It is my encounter with their extreme views and tactics that has colored my opinion of the group themselves. So like I feel like, because what I was trying to do was, there was a video made by a guy, he calls his channel Lower Class, and he made a video about Sweet Baby Inc. Now this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, not necessarily to make a video just about Sweet Baby Inc., because I've there's one other channel that had done one before, and I've heard like two other YouTubers talk about it, like to like the extent of where I get a feeling like they know the detrimental effect on the gaming industry that companies like Sweet Baby Inc. have had. So in coming across this huge channel that was doing that, I reached out and was like, oh, I also have a channel. I put up all those videos like the Ideological War, and it's been my attempt to pull it together, my idea on that Sweet Baby Inc. isn't the only company that's involved in a cultural push towards more left-leaning ideals. Like, it's not just Sweet Baby Inc. No, it's Sweet Baby Inc. do it in video games, but there are other video games companies doing it. But then I've also seen a similar mindset towards working towards the greater good, redefining the definition of words, and speaking about an ideological other as if they're evil. I've seen that kind of mentality in both economics and politics and gaming. I've already mentioned it. So economics, politics, science, and very social issues, because I think feminism is one of the ones where it may have started out with a legitimate social push, a social cause, but then once it was involved in politics, it was more about power. Same thing with the Black Power movement. Like when it's like it was at about a legitimate grievance between white people and black people, cutting along a class line that was fought along racial lines, but then once it got into the realm of politics, it was purely about power. So I've encountered people that have talked about building something for the greater good, but then their tactics are primarily just for gaining more power for their group. And I feel like I've come across that as well with a company like Sweet Baby Inc. Like, they think they're making better narratives for the video games that they're consulting on, with a push towards a... See, that's the thing. I don't know if they want to homogenize games and dumb them down, but that tends to be the end result of these kind of tactics. Like, they say that they're improving the narrative to make it available or more appealing to a wider audience, and they wind up dumbing it down to the point where it's cookie cutter. Like, where like this, like a flash in the pan, is like, it's very entertaining for all the bright lights and colors and special effects that you put in there, but any substance to the story is taken out because there's no edge to the story anymore, because it's no longer, without that ability to offend people, a certain depth to the story is lost. And I don't know if it's been shoved out for ideological reasons or specifically because well, that's the thing, they do say that they care, so I'll have to take them at their word, but I've seen it in multiple areas. So one of them is that all the encounters I remember the most are the ones from someone else with an extreme opinion, like activists, advocates, and social commentators. That is the characteristic that I've tracked, that they all seem to be involved in some social movement. They think they're making the world a better place, and they tend to be either college educated or have a leaning towards a more, not clinical, a more technical understanding of language, of society, of economics. It's very limited in its in these people's not lived experience, very limited in their actual exposure to the academic fields they claim to have an expertise in, which I can relate, but I am willing to admit it. From what I can tell, my opinion of these groups, my opinion of the groups that the extremists are a part of has been affected. My view of the group as a whole, feminists are a good example. The radicals I've seen have colored my opinion of the movement as a whole, and any individuals that would advocate for, it's like constantly, not constantly, but anytime I come across someone who, it's like, and you have to ask, it's like, okay, you are a feminist, but does that mean that you work towards equality? See, and that's where you get divided from it, because feminism is about female supremacy. It's not about equality, at least in the practice of how it's pushed through politics, through economics. And that's probably it. Primarily through politics, a little bit of it through economics. But when it's pushed, it's not for equality between the sexes. It's for female supremacy. Alright, so want to get that down. Who would advocate for the cause? So I feel like I'm a bit of an extremist myself because of how I've come across that viewpoint. It's like I've only encountered extremists, so I'm hyper vigilant when it comes to calling them out in any other realm that I can, or any other area that I can see. And I equate this to being like, it's a not a retarded, but childish. It's kind of like an immature tactic, I know, but always related back to movies, but when they apply, it works. Because the Serenity movie that was off of the Firefly series, no, it was during the actual series, there was a reaver attack on a station, and after they tried to save the person, like the Federation or whoever the fascistic government was, they came in and tried to medically treat the person, and the captain, Reynolds, I think that was his name, he told them that they needed to kill that guy. They were freaked out. It's like, why would we do that? No, he's away from the monsters. And then it came around to the fact that exposure to that extreme nature that they had, that his exposure to the depravity that they were capable of drove him mad. So he was as bad as the monsters that he survived after encountering them. So I feel like it's kind of like that. Like my encounter with extremists has made me hyper vigilant towards their presence in anything, which I can defend and point out the influence that they have in those realms and the overlap that I see, but I have to acknowledge that it's from exposure. Let's see, even useful idiots and other people just in the middle are sorted into a group of, okay, if you were aiding the extremists, you're as bad. So a bully of bullies. All right, my overall goal with recording the above thought is to get to the why of why am I doing it, to answer the question, who am I to claim a grievance for what's being done? Because it's like, I'm not alone. Everybody's had their, I know a lot of people have had their escapism violated. A lot of people have had their skew of what a better world could be. They've been given a bill of goods. They've been delivered false hope. There's, well, the replication issue. I think that ultimately comes down to this ideological push that I'm talking about. Like, all of those ills are things that other people are suffering under, so I'm not special. But it is my grievance. It's like, I'd rather you stay out of people's escapism. Now, fuck up everything else in the real world, but don't fuck up people's fantasies. As what is the root of my disdain for them is primarily that. In the things that people will enjoy and have fun with, and that will be culturally building up future generations, you're ruining all of it. Like, even in the realm where they can just have fun with a fanciful idea, see themselves in a character that has nothing the fuck to do with them, and have fun with it, you're ruining it. So, fuck you, and fuck you with something sharp for fucking that. So, I was thinking that there were 3 scenes that ultimately sum up my viewpoint of why I have the grievance. It's the Be from Vendetta. I'm not here for what you did. No, I'm not here for what you intended. I'm here for what you did. So from that viewpoint, it's why. It's like the why of the reasons, like the person's intent behind it is like you were aiming for a better world. You can understand that. But then as your precious things are burning and everyone around you is choking each other out because they're angry at each other, you have to look at the person that did it. It's like, I don't care why you did it. What you did is the problem. So, that. Alright, Kane from Star Trek. I fucking love that scene. You should have let me sleep. Just going back to escapism. It was something that was for people's entertainment. In the 90s, we were kind of at a height of entertainment where it was, as far as I can tell, it's been a decline since then. Some changes have been made, but it's been pretty much downhill. It was at the height of it. It was as good as it was gonna get. You could have whatever fucking wild ass story that you wanted, special effects and scripts out the wazoo. You could do it up big, for want of a better word. Like, you could have fun with it. It doesn't seem like there's much more fun to be had in entertainment nowadays. It's like there's a lot of fanfare, there's a lot of pageantry, but it's not really fun anymore like the way it was before. And it was fun in its absurdity as well. You had those shows about race relations where they were completely raunchy and wrong about it, and it was fun. So, Kane, you should have let me sleep. And then going back to Serenity, Firefly, in 30 years, no, in 20 years, 30 years, 100 years, it doesn't matter. They are going to come around to the idea that they can make people better. And I also don't believe in that idea. You can't, through fiat, through force, through top-down governments, make people better. Like, you can't. You're either going to be so far outside of the realm of influence for you to have the effect that you want that you're going to fail, or you're going to have somebody put into that position of power that is really only going to be reinforcing their own position and enriching themselves because they don't care. It is not impossible, but very unlikely that you're going to have somebody in that position of power from the top looking down who actually gives a shit. So don't do it. Don't put your destiny in the hands of someone else when it comes to an issue that you can solve yourself. Big talk, but it's how I feel. So that's it. Summing it up to another video: ideological war, keeping company with crazies, or growing accustomed to zealots. I think that pretty much sums up why I feel the way that I feel. I've been overexposed to extreme viewpoints. Doesn't mean I'm not able to sort them, because I still think I'm able to do that. I just have to acknowledge that my lived experience, for want of a better word, is vastly different than other people. Or at least it's been colored in such a way that I need to acknowledge the unique factors.